Hi. I decided to make this video because I was going over my YouTube thing. Like I said, I'm just starting, and granted, I'm sorry for the unprofessionalism as far as my videos go, as far as editing, and I'm going to try to learn more about that eventually um, to make my videos maybe a little bit more appealing, I guess. Um, but all in all, it's just like I said before when I started. This is just basically a blog to help with coping with some of the mental problems I've developed over the last year or so. Um, I seen that video had a lot of views on it, and I thought I'd kind of maybe go a little bit more on how I got to this state. Uh, in my years, I've always been kind of a big guy, as you can tell. So I had issues with depression in the past. I still do. Uh, my anxiety wasn't as bad growing up as it has been at my current age right now. Is, as I think I said in my other videos, 57 years old. Um, a little bit. I don't know if I can't remember if I mentioned or not. My mom had me at 39, so she was up there. I was never called a whoops baby, but I just kind of figured I was. 'Cause that's kind of a higher age to have children, especially when your siblings are so much older than you. By the time I was 13 years old, most of my siblings were out of the house. My brother was 20 years older than me. My one sister is 15 years older than me. My other sister was 8 years older than me. So it was tough bonding with siblings when they're so much older than you are. Basically, because you just don't grow up together. You don't experience the same things. Time periods are different. My brother, when I was like 2 or 3 years old, was already in the military. He was during Vietnam. Basically, he did kind of luck out at that time period. I'm sorry, I'm going on the rabbit hole here, talking about my family a little bit, but you can bear with me. My brother, the story he told me was that during high school, that was during the Vietnam War, and he knew that when he graduated high school, he would get his draft papers. So he decided he was going to make his own plan and not just be drafted. So he went to a recruiter in his senior year for the Air Force, and he talked to a recruiter, and they said, "Yeah, we can get you in once you graduate high school." So what the story told me is he graduated high school, and as at that time period is every man or young man who turned 18 and graduated got his draft notice. So he immediately talked to his recruiter for the Air Force. The recruiter said, "Yes, come on in. We'll get you straight away into the Air Force." And so that's what he did. So he did not have to go to Vietnam. He wound up serving in Guantanamo Bay, which is infamous base there in Cuba. He would tell me stories about how he would, when they flew in, because Cuba was a communist country and was anti-American at the still is. To get into Cuba, to get into Guantanamo Bay, they could not go into Cuban airspace. So basically, what they would have to do, they would fly usually on a C-47 or a transport plane, and they would have to glide like this to the side and he said that he would be pressed against the side of the plane as they would come in because of how they had to approach. So, and like I said, I was like 3 years old at the time, so I was just a little baby. So he was about 20 years older than me. My other sister was 15, and I can remember her when I was in my crib dancing to the Supremes. It's one of the few memories that I can go back that far. My other sister, not so much. We were only 8 years apart. She was still at home part time when I was growing up, but for the most part, she would be there here and there. She was kind of flighty, so for the most part, I was kind of like a single parent or a single child. My father was, and I'm not getting sympathy out of this. He was an alcoholic, so I didn't have a lot of time with him. He spent a lot of time in the bars, so I hardly ever seen him for a long time. I don't really blame him too. A lot of people blame him. He's an alcoholic. I think his reasoning for that was he served in World War II. From what my mother told me, that it really messed him up from what he was before he went in. Some people can take that kind of stuff, warfare. Like my uncle, my mother's brother, he had no problem talking about it. He served in the artillery regiment in the European, not the European theater, but the Pacific theater. He would talk about it all the time. He had no problem talking about it. Not a big deal. My dad, tried to get him to talk about it, wouldn't say a word. I was interested in World War II at the time. I am still a history buff, and I tried to get him to talk. I asked him some questions about it growing up, and he would not talk about it. Like I said, he was an alcoholic. He drank a lot. He was in bars all the time. That's what I remember growing up, was he's always in the bar. We almost became homeless because I didn't know this. My mom told me later in life, because he was what they would call a functioning alcoholic, which means he would get up every morning and go to work and work all day, get off, come home. At the end of the week on Friday, back then everybody got paid weekly. He'd get his paycheck on Friday, take his paycheck, go down to the bar, cash his paycheck, drink it all up. And so there was no money coming. I remember him and my mom fighting a lot about that growing up. And fortunately, my father drank so much, the doctors had told him that if he did not stop, it would kill him. And he eventually listened to the doctors when it was too late. He got liver disease, cirrhosis of the liver. He wound up having to get out of his job early, retirement, at I think he was 51 or 50. And he passed away at 52 from cirrhosis of the liver. So that left just me and my mom. So since my siblings were all out of the house for the most part, it was just me and her. So I was really close to my mother. I was always overweight. I have been all my life. I kind of dipped down. I've dropped weight. I lost 100 pounds one time, and I've never like the highest weight I've ever been is like 303. So I dropped. I got down into the low 200s, but couldn't go any farther. I don't know why. I just stopped. My body wouldn't lose anymore. I walk every day, everything. But that's neither here nor there. But I was always a big guy. And someone compared me on the comments to Boogie 2998. I have watched that YouTuber. I know there's some things going on there that I don't, the cryptocurrency, that kind of stuff. Anyway, um, so I developed depression at a younger age growing up, usually in junior high, high school, because when you're a bigger guy, a bigger kid, I should say, that you get a lot of picked on and stuff like that. So I did develop depression. I did have some anxiety, but not very much. Uh, I did have some friends that I hung around with. One, we've been friends for over 40 years. Um, we still talk and all that. And but the mental health was always there, but it was never as bad until um, probably about a year and a half ago. I guess my sister, who's about 8 years older than I am, she's always disabled. She's diabetic. It runs in the family. I am too, but she wound up, even though she had her COVID shots, she got COVID. She lived in Springfield, Illinois, so she was far away from me. I talked to her, but I didn't talk to her a lot. A lot of times when I would talk, it would be on, text, and she'd lots of times that I don't feel well, which she was getting up in age, and so that was normal for somebody her age to say, I just don't feel well. I'll talk to you later, love you, that kind of thing. So I didn't know at the time the symptoms she was having. She was very close to one of my cousins who they went on vacations together and stuff like that. My cousin and her husband. And she wound up telling my cousin the symptoms. My cousin kept telling her to go to the doctor. So she wouldn't go because the doctor was out of town. And so she just refused to go. And finally, my cousin finally got her to go after refusals to go to the hospital. But by then she was in pretty bad shape. They were giving her some stuff. I'm not sure exactly what medication she was under, but she was starting to get better. And then unfortunately, she took a turn for the worse, and she got pneumonia in her lungs, and she wound up passing away. That triggered my mental state as it is now. I think because I realized after losing, I don't know if I forgot to mention this, but I might have mentioned in the other video. My mom had already passed away when I was 27 from ALS. So my brother had passed away in 2012 from heart problems, and then my sister passed away. I guess it finally woke up. I don't know what happened, but it was like a but a dam bust in my head. And I realized I don't have anyone. I'm alone. And most of my family are gone. Most of my aunt and uncles are all gone, passed away. We were never a close family, so I haven't spoke to my cousins or anything that much. I have one aunt and uncle left, my dad's brother. My grandmas are all gone. My aunts, like I said, my aunt and uncles, except for them two are gone. I do have some cousins. I have a nephew I kind of talk to a little bit here and there. But I guess when I finally woke up to the realization that, I had social awkwardness, and I never had really a girlfriend or anything like that, so I never got married. And I realized I'm 57 years old. I have nobody. And then I realized all the mistakes I made as growing up. There's things I could have done that would have made a big change in my life. Would made probably right now I'd be in a better life that I screwed up and didn't do. If I could go back, like I told my friend one day, if I could go back and slap my younger self in the face and tell him to get off his butt and get some things changed, it would be much better. But unfortunately, you can't do that. The things you do, the screw ups you do in your life, in your past. So if you're young, kind of listening to this, that if you're in your 20s, and you're in your teens, in your 30s, look at your life at a time. Just think to yourself, what would happen if I didn't have my parents? Or what would happen if I didn't have my siblings? Or what would happen if I don't get an education, or I don't try to find a job and pay in, and to get a good retirement. Think about that stuff. I did not think about that stuff. I was very much, for the moment, kind of a person growing up. I was lazy. I should have. There were so many things I should have done that I didn't do. I listened to things. I listened to people I shouldn't have listened to, and I made mistakes. Stuff I regret, which is cause for this anxiety. And now that I'm 57 years old, I'm looking at a future where I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen. So that is why, like I said, if you're young, I'm just, this is going out, if anybody's seen it, like I said, in their younger years, to really look at your life now. I mean, it's easy. Like I said, I was in my 20s. I know I was kind of that way. I just didn't pay attention to what was going on in life. I was, it's easy to be that way when you're young. You think you're immortal. You don't look at the future. You just look at the now, and it's easy to do that. Don't do that. Look at your future. Plan it out. Think about it. So I don't want to be like that guy in this video when I'm 57 years old. Tell yourself that. That's what you should do. You should say to yourself, I'm not going to be that guy. Don't be that guy. Don't be me. Be someone else. Catalog your life early and get a head start on it. And don't deal, like I said, down the road, like me with my mental health issues, due to the fact of those mistakes I made, and not choosing a road that would help me. I was stupid. I'm stupid, lazy. All that thing was, as a kid, as a 20-year-old, as an 18-year-old. That was me. A lot of it had to do with, I didn't, like I said, was my social anxiety. I didn't want to be around people. Because, my weight, which sucks. And I know, like I said, I should have done more. I should have exercised. I should have, which I should still do now. It's a little bit harder as you get older. I try to do exercise, which my anxiety has cost me some weight. Because believe it or not, this shirt used to be tighter fitting. I've lost weight due to my anxiety, because a lot of times I don't feel like eating, and but it's not dropping as well as when you're younger. When you're younger, if you're overweight, it's a lot hard. It's a lot easier to lose it. I remember when I was in my 20s. Like I said, I lost like 90-something pounds. It just kind of fell off. All I did was stop eating junk food and McDonald's and all that garbage, and it just dropped off. Now I stop eating, and it slowly drops off. I guess it's an age thing, but anyway, I'm sorry, I didn't mean this to be another rambling video. Like I said, I do plan on talking about things in my life and memories, but I just wanted to let people know that if you suffer from a mental health problem, I do see a therapist, I do see a psychiatrist. Do that. I'm not on an antidepressant. I did take one called Zoloft, which gave me horrible side effects. Now it scared me from taking it. I do take some other medication, but I am afraid to take antidepressants because of the issues I had with that one. So, I think about the future of what's going to happen and what's not going to happen. It's easy to sit there and think now of what I should have done, and now I'm into my twilight years, and it doesn't seem good sometimes. So, but I'm sorry. This has not been if you're seeing this, a cheerful video. I just wanted to talk a little about myself, about my mental health issues, about my other issues, my family life, that kind of thing. But I will talk more about other stuff that I had growing up, like when I first seen Star Wars back in '77, that kind of stuff. Just some memories. But anyway, thank you for watching the video. If you do, I appreciate it. If you are going through mental health problems, anxiety, depression, loneliness, maybe see a therapist. If you do have family, turn to them, talk to them, tell them what you're going through, and get the help you need, really. So thank you for watching. I hope everyone that does see this has a great day, and I will post again later. Thank you.